I was introduced to the patches by Marcy. Marcy and I were in a previous company together, and we met for dinner one night, and she told me how she was in this gifting business, talking about the patches. She told me her story. I knew, that she had cancer and everything. But one of the things that she said to me was that she felt more joyful. And I thought to myself, what a crock of baloney that is. But I'm the kind of friend that if you ask me to do something, I'll do it because I'm your friend. I might not want to do it. It might not be my cup of tea, but that's what friends do. That's what I do anyways. So anyways, she asked me what was going on with me, and I always kind of thought, I'm pretty healthy. I don't take any prescription drugs. I've worked out my whole life. I, take pretty good care of myself. But, I had to think about it. It's like, well, I have lower back pain. So I do have osteoporosis. So it's like I came up with, I have lower back pain. So she gave me some patches and I started patching my lower back, and it actually helped. And then there was a convention coming up in Las Vegas. And frankly, I just wanted to hang out with Marcy. So I went to the convention and I realized that I didn't want to get left behind this time. The patches were working. I was having some success. And then quickly after I started, I got what Marcy lovingly calls my blood foot, which the technical term is venous reflux, which one day I was getting ready to go to Orange Theory and I looked down and my right foot was like the size of a football, and it like freaked me out. I had to go to urgent care. They rushed me in for an emergency ultrasound to make sure I didn't have any kind of blood clot or anything. Long story short, cardiologist, vein specialist, blah, blah, blah. And that's what I was told, venous reflux. The blood would go one way, but it wouldn't come back up. And there was really not a lot they could do with it. I could wear support stockings. It was like fun, right? So one day Marcy came into my work. I worked at a physical therapy office as the office manager. And we were talking, and I don't know why, but I put my foot up on the desk and I said, Marcy, if those patches can fix my foot, I'm in 100%. At that point, I was in because I wanted to hang out with Marcy. I'd never been a good network marketer, although I totally believe in the industry. It's the best industry out there. I just wasn't ever really great at it. So anyway, I started patching my foot, and I think like within a week or two, the swelling went down. 3 years later, my foot has never swelled up again. But the biggest thing for me, like Kimberly, I've dealt with depression. I've always been somebody that's either up or crashing and burning. I was never very even. And you hear this over and over again, and my mood has just been completely stable for the last 3 years. I'm just happy and content, grateful. And for me, like, that's the biggest thing. So that's the first part of the journey. The funny thing is things happen that you don't even, like, you would never think, oh, this is, from the patches. I've worn glasses my whole life. My driver's license always said you need corrective lenses. First time in my life, I don't wear glasses anymore. I can't see through them. I passed the test without them. No more glasses. I've had dry eye my whole life. I've done like 22 dry eye studies. The last 2 times they called me in, I didn't even pass the test to do the study. So my dry eye has gotten better. And then somebody else talked about this the other night. I think it was Heidi. When you go to the dentist and they read off the numbers for the pockets, you don't want 4s, 5s, 6s. That's not good. I mean, my numbers had always been high. And the last couple of times, all my numbers came down to like 2s, maybe a couple of 3s, which for me was huge. And then about 1.5 years ago, I tore the meniscus in my right knee. It was brutal before I figured out what it was. Again, it wasn't bad enough for surgery, but I could barely walk, and I just started patching my knee. And my knee, it's not 100%, but it's 95%. Every once in a while, if I turn it a certain way, there's a twinge, but it's so much better. I mean, and my boyfriend, he uses the patches on his hands. He's got arthritis. He has patches on it like this every day. He swears by it. So, and, I never expected to build a business here, but I got to quit my job back in April. I got to walk away from working my whole life I'm making enough money that for me, I am financially safe. I can do what I want when I want. I can go to a restaurant and order what I want without looking at the prices. And it's just been a life changer for me, health wise, lifestyle wise, mood wise. I'm a different person.
Everybody wants to know, what patch did you put on the foot to make that happen?
I use the X39 and the Eon on my ankle.
Okay.
And I was super consistent with it. And then when I started, all we ever really talked about was the X39. And as we started getting into it and changing some things, and I started using Nirvana is like one of my all-time favorite patches. I mean, I put that on at bedtime and I wake up happy every morning. I used to like not wake up depressed, but I would wake up and like, oh, another day. Now I'm like, oh, another day. I get to help people and I'm happy. So I love Nirvana.
Our bliss patch. Yes, absolutely.
The anti-bitch patch.
Yes, yes. And then they're asking, Jan, for dry eyes. Did you use anything else different besides X39 Eon?
No, and I just it's like they say, listen to your body. So in the beginning, I used to put it up on my neck most of the time. Sometimes I would put it on the side of my face. I just sort of, how you just, after you're on it for a while, you start playing with it. And I swear, I don't think it really matters for something like that. If it's going to fix it, it's going to fix it.